Well, hello, friend, and welcome back to the episode. I am so glad you are here because today is an episode that I had a lot of fun planning, but it's an episode that has just been burning on my heart for weeks because I am meeting so many of you Lolas, as I call them. Remember, Lola is my ideal customer. You are the trained, stuck therapist who really has a desire in your heart to build this business, but you can't understand why it's not happening. So a lot of you guys have the belief that if you do the training and set up your business and hang out your open, I'm open for business shingle, that people are going to find you. And that is not always the case. So that really was the why behind this episode about why you're not getting any myofunctional therapy clients, and exactly how to fix it is because I am meeting so many of you guys during my Unstuck calls, and you've done the training, you've set up your business, or you think you've set up your business. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But you are invisible. And specifically in this episode, I'm going to talk about the invisible website. Okay. And more what I mean by that is the no follow index. Okay. So we're going to talk about what that is. I promise you that by the end of this episode, you are going to understand exactly why visibility is your primary bottleneck in your business, what the most common visibility gaps are, okay, in your myofunctional therapy business, and where to start if you actually want to be found by the client who needs you, okay? So in true Carmen fashion, we're just going to dive in. I actually have a couple pages of notes here. So the first thing that we are going to start with is what I like to call the field of dreams lie, okay? Now, if you have been with me for any amount of time, you know this. I keep talking about it. It's a drum that I'm going to beat on forever. But when you are taking your clinical training, friend, they teach therapy, okay? Any one of these multitude of training programs out there, as well as the Learn Myofunctional Therapy in 60 Days program that is our clinical training, it teaches clinical. Okay, nobody teaches you how to get found. Okay, so nobody can find you if you do not show up where they are looking. And the thing is the credibility you're training, whether that is you're paying for what do I want to say? Like if you're paying for certification or non-certified, so many of you guys, whatever the credential is, the ABC letters that you're putting behind your name, it doesn't do the marketing, my friend. Okay. Visibility is a skill and you have to build it on purpose. So that's one of the biggest things that you guys are missing. Okay. So when I talk about the field of dreams lie, you hang out your shingle, say, I'm open for business. Come one, come all. I'm ready for everybody. And nobody comes. And that is one of the things that I have struggled with my students is they think that they're learning from me who has, a decade of experience, over $1.5 million of verified revenue. Like I have been in the trenches. I have the expertise and the experience. And so they think that they are going to come learn from me. And just by osmosis, I guess, that it's field of dreams, you build it and they will come. That is not the case. So that's why I call it a lie. All right. Gap number 2 in your visibility issue, okay, is no ICP or ICA, ideal customer persona, ideal customer avatar, okay? Talking to everyone, my friend, keeps you invisible to everybody. I know. So a lot of you guys, for example, will say, I help people sleep better. Nobody specifically searches for that, okay? Your ideal customer has a specific problem and you have to speak to it by name. So I found this out, when I do my own market research, okay? We call it the VOC, the voice of the customer. And we're continually doing it, as you should be as well. But there's a lot of things that I think that my Lola is looking for. And in fact, when we do the research, we don't find that at all, okay? She's not typing in bored, burned out dental hygienist. That's not the thing she's looking for at 11 p.m. when she's miserable on a Sunday night and dreading going to work tomorrow morning. That's not it. She has a specific pain point, and that's what she's Googling, okay? So you have to speak to it, whatever that is, by name, okay? And so diluted content is why you have no traction. So that's a biggie. When you try and speak to everybody, you speak to nobody, okay? You do not cast a bigger net to catch bigger fish, you catch no fish. Gap number 3 is your website can't be found. So this is what I talked about right at the beginning. So a lot of you guys have a no index tag, okay? Which makes you invisible to Google, and Google is kind of important, right? So that is a biggie. And what's even more frustrating is that some of you guys have paid somebody to build a website for you, and you would have thought that they knew what they were doing, which they should, but there's a no index tag, which just tells Google, no, nothing to see over here. The next thing is that your website is not written for search, okay? It's written for your colleagues. That is not going to help you. Your website has one job, actually 2, okay? So the first one is to get found by the person who doesn't know you exist, the person that you help, but they don't know you exist. So that is goal number 1. And the reason I say that technically your website has 2 goals is the second one is I want your website to be a tool for you, meaning everything is automated in my business. So when somebody books an exam, I do not do any work until that person is sitting in front of me on the Zoom call. Now you might be saying, well, how does that happen? How do you get paid? How do you get their paperwork? How do you get information about them? How do you get pictures and videos if you require that? It's automatic. So that's what I mean about your website working as a tool for you. All of that stuff happens on my website. They download their paperwork from my website. If they need additional copies of paperwork, or if they need additional copies of their checkoff sheets, if they need additional copies of their habit and symptom tracker that I give them, they do it right on my website. They don't have to email me and ask for it, and then my team doesn't have to take time to read it and give it back to them. They get information about checking their media, checking their internet speed, checking their, how to turn on their camera, how to make sure their speakers are working. All of that stuff happens on my website. In addition to, not only is my website probably the biggest, well, not probably, it is the biggest marketing engine piece of my business, but it also, when I blog, that information also is a tool for my potential clients. So if they're trying to find an airway orthodontist, I'm not sitting there hand-holding these humans through trying to find an airway orthodontist. I give them the link to a robust, bum diggity blog that I have written. There they have it. Okay, questions that they want to talk to their doctor about, questions that they want to interview the tongue-tied dude about, questions to talk to the orthodontist about, all of that stuff on my website. So that's why I say your website has to be a tool for you. All right. And then gap number 4, when it comes to your visibility, is inconsistency that's diagnosed as effort. Okay. You're not lazy. You're scattered. And that is a huge problem because many of you guys are posting and ghosting. So you'll get like this big burst of ambition or motivation, or call it whatever you want, but you go do it and then you disappear for months. Okay. That is worse than doing nothing at all. Because remember, the internet wizards, the Google wizard, is looking at the fact of the end user experience, the person who is using their product. They want you to be helping them, okay? And if you gain a reputation with Google as somebody who posts and ghosts, then you're unreliable, you're inconsistent, you're not going to be the person who Google wants to serve up to help somebody else. So that is a biggie. You have to do the boring business basics over and over and over again. Okay, here I am working on my second million in revenue. I'm doing the same thing day in, day out. Here it is. It's Monday as I'm recording this. Same thing. I'm showing up, doing the same thing, because consistency is important. So when you're thinking about how to fix your visibility gaps, consistency is big. What can you do consistently? I'm not asking you to write a blog a week if you can't do it repeatedly. I've talked before about one of the biggest times that I grew in my business, and that was me showing up on Wednesdays at 2:00 for a Facebook Live every week for a year, like clockwork. I didn't miss it. I did it whether there was 20 people there or none. Okay. All right. So the fix. How do you fix this visibility issue? Number one, get clear on who you help. Friend, you are going to hear me. I will die on this hill. You have to know specifically who that is. When I talk to you about my Lola, I know everything about her. I know where she's at. I know the questions she's asking. I know where she's shopping. I know what she's driving. I know her stores, like grocery stores, clothing stores, all of that kind of stuff. Okay. You got to know. You have to know. And that who is not, I help everybody with everything. Okay. This goes back to the person, the pulse thing. That's not what you want. You want a niche so specific that it makes you uncomfortable, that it makes you nervous, that you're not going to find anybody like that, because you're so dialed in. When that person sees your content, she will know that it is for her. Okay. Fix number two, make sure your website says that clearly. Okay. Make sure your website knows, because remember, your website is telling the universe what it is, what it is you help, who it is that you help with. Okay. My friend, I just have to take a second here to tell you this about your website, just because I am seeing it so rampant and I can't help but talk about it. Many of you guys are paying somebody to build you a website. You don't own it. You don't update it. You don't have any metrics on it. You know nothing about it. You have an about page that might not even have you on it. They're having the no index page or the no index tag. Many of you guys have websites that have no correct headers. You don't have alt images. It's not optimized for SEO and GEO. You're not using keywords, all of that stuff. Okay. It's costing you time and money in your business. I have several students right now who absolutely have to start over. Okay. It's not the end of the world. What I want to tell you is that we will fix that for you. If you're having a website issue, reach out to me, because I will rebuild that. Our turnaround is less than 30 days. Oftentimes we can have your website rebuilt for you, or just completely a new rebuild or a new build for you in 2 weeks. Okay. Some of it's going to depend on you doing your part to get information to us. I build you a WordPress site. You have to pay for hosting, but some of you guys are paying for websites that you pay somebody to build it. You pay somebody monthly. Like I had a student who did a GoDaddy website. She's got like $5,000 into this thing, and it's awful. And she is so frustrated because she can't even get help from somebody who speaks English, and we can't even get it updated. Okay, yes, it's a sunk cost. We're starting over. But the thing that I want you to know is if you want me to build your website, I fully believe in the whole teach a man to fish philosophy. I'm not handing you something and then you not knowing how to update it, run it, back it up, all of that kind of stuff. So I build you a WordPress site. You're able to build it, make it a tool for you. Of course, I help you. We train you on all of that stuff. So my team is bomb diggity. And so shameless plug, if you're having a website issue or you're starting over, like just hire us to get it done. Right now it's $4,000. And that's because you're going to participate in some of the work. So we can do that for you. Next, show up consistently. I don't think I need to continue to beat a dead horse on this one. You have to do marketing that you can do consistently. Okay. Not just posting an Instagram reel and never showing back up on Instagram and then being frustrated that your business isn't doing anything. Okay. That is a biggie. All right, my friend, I gave you 3 fixes that you can work on starting today to help with your visibility. What do I want you to do with this information? So if you are my Lola, that means you're trained in myofunctional therapy and you are stuck. Obviously, if you're still listening to this and you're probably nodding your head along, then that's you. 2 things I want you to do. 1, book your unstuck call, because if you're listening to this podcast in IRL, in real life, you know that our boot camp is coming up to get unstuck. So you want to get your unstuck call booked so that you know when we open the cart on August 28th for the fall cohort of the Profitable Myofunctional Therapist, you have already had your call with me. You know what we're going to do, what direction you have to go, all of that stuff. You know when that door opens that you are ready to enroll. I don't want everybody waiting until the last minute and then whining like, Carmen, there's no availability. That's because I only have so many hours. Okay, so book that call now. If you are trained, you're not earning any money, you don't even know if you're visible, book that call because we're going to find that out. And then next, I want you to register for the boot camp. Okay, so wherever you're watching, listening, reading this, I'm going to make sure that that link is there to register for the boot camp. And then if you are my Sarah, now remember, Sarah is my customer avatar who's the bored, burned out dental hygienist who is not yet trained, probably just got into this rabbit hole, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know where to start. You have to start with learn myofunctional therapy in 60 days or less, because the prerequisite to get into the Profitable Myofunctional Therapist, that is the business course. You have to already have your clinical training. So if you get in there now and get with it, then you can get into PMT this fall. Okay, so that is a wrap, my friend. Do the work, figure out whether you're visible or not, be consistent, and in the meantime, work on building a life that you're bonkers about. My friend, I will be back soon where we will talk about starting, growing, simplifying, and also AIing your myofunctional therapy business. I'll see you then.